Think that calm, that independence, that quiet focus is just how you are? It's the dormant reactor core, simmering with potential you've barely tapped. You move unseen because you operate on a different plane, untouchable, unbreakable, a force the world can't predict. That detachment isn't a flaw, it's your lens seeing the strings others dance on while you cut them with a glance. Welcome to the Sigma male community, where we don't just recognize this power, we ignite it. Today we're tearing into the compelling reasons why Sigma males are more powerful than they realize, stripping away the illusions and handing you the keys to your own unshakable kingdom. This isn't about labels, it's about owning the weapon system you already possess. Get ready to see yourself in a new light, because you're not just strong, you're a damn phenomenon. 1. Solitude is their forge. While others dread isolation, Sigma males wield it like a master craftsman shaping raw steel into a blade. This isn't loneliness, it's a sacred workshop where the mind sharpens, strategies solidify, and the self is relentlessly upgraded. Away from the herd static, they dive into a space where distractions dissolve, and their most significant breakthroughs are born. The world sees absence, but they're wrong. It's intense, focused becoming, a transformation that leaves them not just adapted but evolved, carrying insights forged in the fire of silence. They don't need the crowd's noise to feel alive. They thrive in the stillness, where every thought is a hammer strike refining their purpose. This deliberate isolation is no retreat. It's strategic overclocking, a process that turns solitude into a superpower. While peers stumble through the chaos of constant connection, the Sigma builds an arsenal of intellect and experience, returning not just ready but leagues ahead. It's a pressure chamber where resolve hardens into diamonds and insight cuts through the fog of ordinary life. They master themselves in this quiet crucible, relying on their own judgment over the clamor of opinions. When they step back into the world, they're not just participants, they're quiet conquerors, vibrating on a frequency others can't even tune into, armed with a clarity that's damn near invincible. 2. They redefine the battlefield, refuse to compete. Forget climbing ladders rigged by someone else. Sigma males build their own damn structures. They look at traditional competition and see a pointless brawl for scraps on a crowded hilltop, so they stride into the uncharted valley below and claim it as their own. Their power isn't in outrunning the pack, it's in making the race irrelevant, crafting a game where their rules reign supreme. They don't waste energy proving themselves in someone else's arena. They forge one where their strengths dominate, turning the whole concept of success into something uniquely theirs. This isn't arrogance, it's radical sovereignty, a middle finger to the zero-sum traps that exhaust everyone else. By rejecting inherited rules, they sidestep the grind and define victory on their terms, measuring progress against an internal compass that never wavers. While others sweat to be better, the Sigma simply is standing tall in a freedom that doesn't need applause. They decide what matters, not the crowd, and that unshackable independence lets them move through life with a purpose so clear it cuts like a blade. It's a power that comes from within, untouchable by the petty games of comparison. 3. Legacy is built in the subtext. Sigmas don't chase headlines or fleeting clout. Their monuments rise in the quiet hours, carved from work that lasts and ideas that shift the world's foundation. Recognition? That's a distraction. The real prize is impact, the kind that seeps into the cracks of existence and changes everything without fanfare. They plant forests they'll never sit under, content knowing the roots are deep and the growth is inevitable. Their focus is on the long game, building something enduring while others scramble for the spotlight. Being underestimated is their secret weapon, a cloak of invisibility that lets them move unhindered. Beneath the radar, they execute with precision, crafting legacies in the subtle shifts. The minds they change, the problems they solve, the innovations they seed. It's not a loud statue but a seismic ripple, a power that outlives trends and empty praise. They don't need the world to cheer, they know the value of what they've built. It's a quiet strength that echoes through time, proving that real influence doesn't shout, it reshapes. 4. Emotional alchemy, mastery not suppression. Don't mistake their calm for ice. Sigma males burn with emotional intelligence, but they refuse to let feelings pull their strings. They take the raw storms inside and transmute them into focused energy, razor-sharp analysis, and unshakable decisions. This isn't about burying emotions, it's about commanding them, turning chaos into fuel for clarity. They feel deeply but they act rationally, wielding their inner world like a tool instead of a master. In the thick of chaos, this detachment becomes a superpower. While others drown in panic or rage, the Sigma stands as the eye of the storm, coolly assessing and striking with precision. It's a composure that turns negotiations into chess matches they've already won, conflicts into lessons they've already learned. They don't bend under pressure. They use it, channeling every ounce into actions that hit like thunder. This is strength refined, a quiet dominance that unnerves foes and steadies allies, proving that real power lies in ruling yourself first. 5. Walking away is their ultimate power move. Sigmas know their worth with a clarity that's almost terrifying. They don't cling to toxicity or compromise just to keep the peace. When a situation, a bond, or a path stops aligning with their core, they cut it loose, cleanly, decisively, no theatrics required. This isn't giving up, it's liberation, a calculated exit that keeps their energy pure and their purpose intact. They walk away not out of weakness, but from a strength so deep it doesn't need explanation. That ability comes from a bedrock of self-respect and independence. They thrive alone so they don't fear losing what drags them down. Walking away isn't just a choice, it's a statement, a refusal to let anything chain their potential. It shocks systems built on blind loyalty, leaving detractors scrambling and powerless. Their peace and direction are non-negotiable, and that unshakable resolve turns a simple no into a force of nature. It's the kind of power that doesn't need a fight. It wins by leaving the battlefield entirely. 6. Silence is a strategic siege engine. For Sigmas, silence isn't a void, it's a weapon, a pressure cooker that makes the world squirm. They know words lose weight when overused, so they hold back, letting the quiet force others to lean in, guess, and spill their own secrets. Their stillness isn't passive, it's magnetic, unsettling, a presence that commands without a sound. It's a deliberate play, turning absence into a tool of control that shifts the game before anyone realizes it started. When they do speak, it's a damn detonation. Every word lands with the force of a sledgehammer because it's been earned. That restraint builds an aura of mystery and confidence that fills rooms without a shout. In a standoff, a deal, or just watching the world turn, their silence dismantles facades and draws respect like a gravitational pull. It's not about hiding, it's about wielding the unspoken, proving that power doesn't need volume, it thrives in the spaces between. 7. Independence is their impenetrable fortress. Sigma independence isn't just self-reliance, it's a steel wall against manipulation and the herd's pull. They don't crave approval or belonging, so they move through life guided by their own logic, unswayed by flattery or threats. This isn't distance, it's radical self-ownership, a freedom that lets them see the world as it is, not as others demand it to be. They stand alone not out of pride but because they can, and that makes them untouchable. That freedom is their edge. They can't be bought with status, broken by exclusion, or bent by opinion. Their choices cut through the noise with brutal clarity, fearless of the paths less traveled. It's a force field that shrugs off pressure, leaving them standing while others buckle. This self-sufficiency isn't just strength, it's a quiet terror to anyone who relies on control, because the Sigma answers only to himself. It's power that doesn't need permission, built from the inside out. 8. Networks are tools, not crutches. Sigmas don't collect contacts like trophies. They forge connections with purpose, choosing depth over a shallow sea of names. They bring value, take what they need, and never let relationships define them. Their network is a honed blade, not a lifeline, built on mutual respect and cut loose when it stops serving a point. They engage the world without being owned by it, keeping their core intact. This keeps them lean and free, no emotional baggage, no clinging to dead ties. They slip between circles, influencing without being tangled, staying sharp because they don't lean on anyone for validation. It's a dance of independence and strategy, using allies like tools in a kit, effective, precise, and detachable. Their power lies in this balance, connected enough to thrive, sovereign enough to walk away. It's collaboration on their terms, a strength that never compromises. 9. Evolution is their native habitat. Sigmas don't just adapt, they mutate, shedding old skins before they're even worn out. They're driven to upgrade, ditching skills, beliefs, and habits the moment they smell obsolescence. They don't follow the curve, they draw it, leaving the world scrambling to keep up with their next leap. This isn't reaction, it's creation, a relentless push to be more than they were yesterday. That constant reinvention makes them wild cards, impossible to pin down and built for whatever's coming. While others cling to the familiar, Sigmas thrive in the flux, anticipating shifts and rewriting themselves to match. They don't wait for the environment to shape them, they shape it, turning every change into a launch pad. It's a restless, brilliant power, one that keeps them ahead, untamed, and always a step beyond reach. Evolution isn't their challenge, it's their playground. 10. Leadership is an emission, not a campaign. Sigmas don't beg for followers. Authority just sticks to them, drawn by raw competence and quiet integrity. They lead with actions, not speeches, and people trail behind because they see the real deal, not some polished pitch. It's not forced, it's gravity pulling in those who recognize substance over flash. They don't need a crown, they wear their results, and that's enough. This natural pull is tough as hell, built on trust earned through what they do, not what they say. They sidestep ego traps, focusing on solutions while others chase applause. People don't follow out of fear or hype. They're drawn, hooked by a strength that doesn't demand loyalty but gets it anyway. It's leadership that lasts, rooted in truth and capability, the kind that turns a lone wolf into a quiet king without a single campaign. 11. They are architects of the unseen, subtle power moves. Sigmas don't need fireworks. Their power hums in the shadows, a slight tilt of the scales, a pause that shifts everything. They nudge outcomes with whispers, presence, and the genius of letting others think they've figured it out. Its influence so smooth it's felt before it's seen, a mastery of the game's undercurrents. They don't flex, they flow, and the world bends without knowing why. This subtlety is a knockout punch. By skipping the loud plays, they dodge pushback and keep their cards close. They shape events from the edges, saving energy while others exhaust themselves in the spotlight. When the dust settles, their goals locked in, and people are left awed, rattled, and clueless about the how. It's power distilled to an art, invisible until it's unstoppable, proving the strongest moves are the ones you never see coming. You've just stared down the raw truth of your own power. These aren't quirks, they're your arsenal, primed and waiting. You're not here to fit in, you're here to redefine what strength even means, to wield that quiet fire and reshape the world on your terms. The Sigma male community isn't just a channel, it's your forge, your proving ground, a call to every man ready to claim his potential and run with it. This is your wake-up call. Reflect on this, live it, and let it fuel your next move. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications if you haven't already, because we're not stopping here. This is just the spark. Like this video, drop a comment with your thoughts, share it with a brother who needs to hear it, and let's keep this fire raging. You're stronger than you know. Now go prove it.